Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Attorney John Deaton, who has filed an action against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, is doing his very best to defend XRP itself. He's not trying to defend Ripple. He's not trying to defend Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson, and he certainly isn't, for me, certainly, is not expected to. But I love the vigor with which he discusses XRP and his firm defense. And so I'm going to share with you in this video a ton of thoughts from John Deaton. He has another incredible thread out. The amount of time and energy that he's expending to defend XRP and XRP holders is tremendous. And so it deserves to be highlighted. And I'll also encourage you, if you're on Twitter, the cesspool that is Twitter, I encourage you to follow John Deaton. He is at John, the letter E, Deaton, and then the number 1. That's John, the letter E, Deaton, and then the number 1 on Twitter. And just show your support. He's putting a ton of work into getting the word out here. And I maintain that the XRP community is the best community in all of crypto. And I think that we should continue to prove that. But we're also supportive of each other just in a general sense. And it's something to be admired, in my humble opinion. And so, what are we talking about here? Well, John Deaton's also saying, stop the tribalism. And what prompted this? It's something I actually talked about, I don't know, maybe it was a couple days or so ago, probably 2 days ago. There's a podcast named Unchained, run by Laura Shin, who happens to not like Ripple, not like XRP. And I spent some time kind of explaining the degree to which she doesn't like them and how she's willing to actively avoid honest and open discussion. There was a situation, I'll be brief here because I really fleshed this out in a previous video, where there's a former Ripple employee named Corey Johnson who was going to be on her show. And I don't know if it actually happened. I can't recall off the top of my head, but that doesn't matter. And then I guess he brought up the idea to Laura Shin of having David Schwartz on the podcast. David Schwartz being currently Ripple CTO. He back then was the chief cryptographer, but he's now the CTO, and he is a co-creator of the XRP ledger. Laura Shin had just put out a tweet at that time. This would be May of 2018. It was a tweet that was a quote from an article written by somebody that didn't know what the hell they were talking about having to do with XRP, indicating that XRP was centralized. And so then Corey Johnson, says, hey, why don't we have David Schwartz on here? She said no. David Schwartz even tweeted it out, and she's just like, nope. She didn't want to have an open and honest conversation. And then she said, nope, I don't want that. And I'm paraphrasing here. She's like, I don't want you. I want Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, on the podcast. She wouldn't do it. She was not interested. So that's what you're dealing with here. And so the company that she's keeping here is not surprising. She had a couple lawyers on her podcast here. Nothing against any of these people personally. It's not what I'm talking about. But you can see where their motives lie. And you can see the narrative that they're driving as a result of this. So you have this, she had 2 attorneys on. They both said Ripple's going to lose and that they need to push for settlement. This and that, I've already talked about it on the channel, so I'm not going to go in depth in this video. I just want to highlight this to make sure we have the table properly set before going into John Deaton's thread here. But I actually had forgot when I last spoke about this a couple days or so ago, one of the attorneys on this podcast, his name's Stephen Pauly, and I forgot that he was, because I just didn't remember the name, but on January 7th, there was this article, which I also covered, titled, Here's What Ripple Can Do to Save XRP According to Crypto Lawyer Stephen Pauly. So if you want to get an idea of whether or not it makes sense to trust his opinion on this stuff, I'm going to show you, because I haven't highlighted this before. I mean, I covered this article, but I'm going to show you the degree to which he rushed to judgment. And then he's sitting here talking about how Ripple's going to lose this or that. And I'm just like, if you're rushing to judgment, I don't know how to trust you anyway. And what does that say about your actual motives? Is it more so what you want, or is it what you functionally believe is going to happen here? And so what he stated here, it had to do with when Tetragon sued Ripple. That was the company that did the Series C funding round for Ripple. I guess it was December 2019. It was announced that they raised a bunch of money. And they had this clause in whatever their agreement was stating that if XRP is declared and actually proven to be a security, that they can get out. They can absolutely get out of it. And Ripple was so confident that it wouldn't, of course, understandably so, that they agreed to that. So that was the deal. Well, XRP, the SEC is arguing it's a security, but it hasn't been proven to be it. It hasn't actually been declared a security. And so what happened here is Stephen Pauly, before Ripple even put out a response, he said, here's a quote, "The problem Ripple is going to run into, and why I think they are basically screwed, is discovery, including contemporaneous documents and depositions. There's no universe in which this will help them at all." And again, this is before Ripple put out this short statement on January 5th, 2021. And I understand this article was January 7th, but that he said this before Ripple put out the statement. The article just came out a couple days later. So January 5th, 2021, our statement on Tetragon filing. This is Ripple's website. In Ripple's Series C investment agreement, there is a provision that if XRP is deemed to be a security on a go-forward basis, then Tetragon has the option of having Ripple redeem their Ripple equity. Since there has been no such determination, this lawsuit has no merit. We are disappointed that Tetragon is seeking to unfairly take advantage of the lack of regulatory clarity here in the United States. The courts will provide this clarity, and we are very confident in our position. And so, again, even before they came out, Stephen Pauly here, very confident that Ripple's going to get wrecked effectively. Why would you have that opinion? Why would you rush to judgment before you have any facts? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And so again, you got to kind of question what's going on in such an individual's mind. And again, like I said, I want to be clear, nothing against the man personally, but this isn't what I'd expect from a lawyer. That's what I'm saying right here. That's all I'm saying. And so, you know, moving forward here, you have this podcast here. And John Deaton checked it out, and he sees what's going on here, and he just wrote, he has a stop sign emoji thing here on Twitter, and he wrote in all caps, "Stop the tribalism." And this is a retweet of Laura Shin's podcast here. So it's just three people that clearly are not fans of Ripple and XRP, predicting all sorts of dire things. And so he writes, "Stop the tribalism. If you love to hate on XRP," and this is John Deaton now, "and or Ripple, then you will find Laura Shin's interview of attorney Stephen Pauly and Lex Node." Is his name actually Alex, I think? That's just his handle there, right? It doesn't say. Well, maybe it is Lex. What? It doesn't matter. He says if you hate XRP and Ripple and or Ripple, you'll find the podcast enjoyable. But if you want to experience unbiased journalism or fair and objective legal analysis, don't waste your time on this. First, let me make it clear again that I'm not here to defend Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, or Chris Larson. They have better lawyers to defend them than me. I don't care if the SEC issues fines and disgorges them, as long as the money goes to XRP holders. Let me also make clear that I'm not just an XRP bag holder who is upset that I picked the wrong digital asset to invest in. In fact, my largest crypto investment by far is Bitcoin. After Bitcoin, my next largest investment by far is Ethereum. After Bitcoin and Ethereum, I have investments in XRP and other digital assets. I'm sharing this information for the first time on Twitter to disabuse people from thinking that I'm just a disgruntled XRP investor. If you don't consider the suppression in price due to the SEC filing, I've never even claimed to have lost money on XRP. I filed an action against the SEC on behalf of all XRP holders because what the SEC did was wrong. Not wrong against Ripple or its two executives, but wrong about what it's doing to the very people it's supposed to protect. This alleged journalist and two lawyers offer no real substantive legal analysis of the SEC's claims against Ripple and its two executives or XRP. And yeah, let me pause there, and that's absolutely true. And I want to point this out also. Jeremy Hogan, who is another attorney who recently invested in XRP after due diligence, but before that, he recognized that the SEC is not requesting a declaratory judgment that XRP be labeled as a security, and that means, this is his professional opinion, that the judge cannot legally determine XRP to be a security because you can't declare something like that if the SEC isn't even request that the judge declare such a thing. So you can't get out of this some sort of declaration that XRP is a security. The SEC isn't even trying to do that. And I think that's because they know that they've overcharged, and their stance, like they don't have a leg to stand on in terms of the issue of whether or not XRP is a security today. That doesn't mean Ripple will win the lawsuit necessarily, but what does that even mean? Does that just mean that they're found to have engaged in selling practices that weren't up to snuff as far as the SEC is concerned, and maybe they get fined? Okay, fine. But as long as XRP isn't declared a security, and as long as XRP can be sold by Ripple, I'd consider that a win. So that's what I would prefer to happen. That's why I'm hoping that we can just get some sort of settlement here. But that's what we're going. That's what we're going for. And so for them to state otherwise, it's just like, oh, it just makes my head rattle, man. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, continuing on with John Deaton's statements here. It's instead, and he's referencing the SEC charges. He writes, instead, it's a blatant hit job. They clearly don't like these executives, Ripple, or the technology, and that's okay. Maybe the executives should be disgorged. I don't know. I don't care. What I care about is that the SEC is acting in bad faith. Yet, these lawyers don't even comment or question, why did it take the SEC 7 years to file the case? They don't question, why did the SEC grant approval of the 9% purchase of MoneyGram, knowing Ripple would pay MoneyGram in XRP, and then MoneyGram would sell that XRP to exchanges for retail investors to buy. They don't question, why didn't the SEC go after Ripple during the 2017 ICO prosecutions? They don't question, why did the SEC run a node on the XRP ledger, thereby conveying and or validating over $90 billion in transactions? That's my favorite point, too. I think it's probably still my favorite point, the most ridiculousness of all this. SEC claiming that XRP is a security, but they ran a node and helped process the transactions that are illegal securities transactions, they're saying. It's just like, brain explode. I know, it's ridiculous, but that has happened. This is real life, and they still, like, they say this stuff with straight faces. It's absurd. Anyway, continuing on with the thread now. Did the SEC charge someone at the SEC related to the conveyance or validation of over $90 billion in unregistered securities? They didn't question why Jay Clayton, after being warned by Grunfest, wouldn't wait for the new administration less than 30 days away to provide input considering the significance of this case, but instead directed the case to be filed on his last full day at the SEC. These lawyers, with Laura Shin grinning ear to ear, simply recite the allegations made by the SEC in its complaint. Then, after reading what they describe as egregious and fraud-like allegations, claim the case is a slam dunk for the SEC. No, it's not. As I pointed out below, not just me, but former SEC lawyers have stated there is no way that the SEC can prove that today's XRP, the XRP sitting in the accounts of people with no connection to Ripple, constitute securities. They may very well prove that specific earlier distributions of XRP constituted the sale of unregistered securities, but they can't prove that the XRP in thousands of accounts across the world are securities, not under the Howey test. Exactly. And so that's why I'm saying, like, Ripple could technically lose the case, and it wouldn't necessarily be bad for XRP holders. Maybe it would make for some Bitcoin maxis writing out some scary sounding headlines, but if XRP can continue to be sold by Ripple, and if it's not a security, well, there you go, which is what I'm fully anticipating, especially based on past SEC action in the world of crypto. Like, you can think what happened with the Ken token, which I've highlighted on the channel in a number of videos, which I'm not going to do again in this video, but you see how they behaved in the past. So to me, it seems like a money grab, and they don't care about the investors. I don't think they're protecting me at all. I think that they've harmed me personally. All right, anyway, continuing on John Deaton's thread here now. These lawyers or this host make no mention that the United Kingdom's FCA, that's Financial Conduct Authority, categorizes XRP as a non-security hybrid token falling into a category between an exchange token and a utility token. There is no mention that Japan's FSA categorizes XRP as a non-security. No mention of Switzerland, Singapore, or the UAE's categorization of XRP as a non-security. Any claim that those foreign jurisdictions have zero impact on the analysis of today's XRP because it's outside the USA is nonsense. It's not controlling, but it's clearly relevant when conducting a complete legal analysis. But, as stated, this 1-hour podcast episode is far from a legal analysis. I'm usually not this publicly harsh in my comments of others, but when I saw this host and these two lawyers laughing at the fact that XRP dropped in price from over 60 cents to 27 cents and then joked regarding their surprise because it's not trading at zero, well, it disgusted me. They made a big deal criticizing the two executives for making $600 million, but they show no sympathy or compassion for the thousands of innocent investors who lost billions. they make no comment that the SEC filed an action seeking $1.3 billion, but in doing so, cost innocent investors, well over $10 billion. The host declared that once she learned about the Howey test factors, it was obvious to her that XRP was a security. Has she ever applied her Howey factor analysis to Ethereum? Her Twitter page highlights her interview with Vitalik Buterin, so she must be well immersed into the Ethereum story, right? Is she aware that the SEC could make similar claims against Ethereum? Did they make any fair comparisons to Ethereum in their analysis? No, I did. See below. And then he has a link to a previous thread. Laura Shen enjoys discussing the SEC's allegation of market manipulation by Ripple, but I'm sorry, did she or these lawyers look into how other token projects have incentivized exchanges to list its token? Are they familiar that others did so in 2016? Can they say with confidence that it doesn't happen today? They made a big deal about Ripple allegedly manipulating the timing of sales with exchanges. Since Vitalik is plastered on her Twitter page, I'm sure she is aware of the time Vitalik got all the main exchanges to stop trading ETH. It may seem like I'm taking shots at Ethereum. I'm not. I've accumulated ETH since 2016, but fair is fair. Every altcoin starts out, arguably, as a security. The XRP I hold in my wallet is no more of a security than the ETH in my wallet. And this BS tribalism needs to stop. Coincidentally, just last night, I tweeted a warning thread on how, if the SEC is successful in declaring today's XRP a security, all of crypto could be in danger. I even argued that the king of all crypto, Bitcoin, could be argued by motivated bureaucrats to be a security in limited scenarios. Interestingly, in this podcast with Laura Shen and these two lawyers, one of the lawyers near the end brought up the fact that former SEC chief Joseph Grunfest at one time claimed Bitcoin was a security. Instead of cheering on the SEC's attack on XRP, maybe people should pay attention to the real threat surrounding our beloved digital asset space. If XRP sucks as a technology, then its fate should be sealed. The market should decide the winners and the losers, not the government. Again, a round of applause. John Deaton killing it, man. You can tell the fire is there. I'm loving this stuff. Oh, and I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I mean, you should see the number of likes and retweets on all this stuff here. It's amazing. And so people need to hear it. So I'm going to keep trying to just spread the word that since I have this platform of what's going on. He's nailing it in terms of the way XRP is positioned today, the fact that it's not a security. He's killing it on the tribalism. I mean, I tell you what, I was disgusted when I entered the world of crypto. I thought I was part of this forward thinking individuals, just as a whole, everybody in crypto. I thought that initially, kind of naive in hindsight, but I thought that we were in this whole thing together. And then I started to like XRP, and then I found out that made me the enemy of Bitcoin holders. And I'm just like, holy freaking hell, man! I hold Bitcoin, so I have to like everything that you like, which is just Bitcoin and nothing else, or I'm the enemy. Stop the nonsense. That is not an adult way of looking at the world. You unsophisticated, knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing troglodyte with a cashew-sized brain. No thank you. How about grow up and just be an adult and a decent person, And so, whatever. I'm pro-XRP. I made myself well aware of what's going on with Ripple. When I purchased, I continued to do all sorts of research after. It's not like I knew everything, but I had done enough due diligence when I purchased for my XRP for the first time. And I understood the position that some people were saying with it. There are all these claims of centralization, this and that, and Ripple holding too much. And I formed my opinion. It was different than the Bitcoin maxis, and that makes me the enemy. And I think that's just absolutely gross. And so I appreciate what John Deaton is saying here. I am long multiple cryptocurrencies. There will not be one coin to rule them all. Bitcoin is here, perhaps forever. I hope forever. And that would be great because I hold it. But it's not going to be one coin to rule them all. And Bitcoin, frankly, is technologically inferior to XRP and absolutely cannot do what XRP can do in being positioned as a bridge currency, right? So anyway, I really appreciate what John Deaton's doing, and I bet, I almost said I hope, but I know he will maintain that fire moving forward. He's got the vigor for sure, and he's absolutely killing it. And there are only so many people out there actively trying to defend XRP, which effectively helps all XRP holders, like, for instance, me, you know, and you, if you hold XRP. You know, there are only so many people doing that, and so I want to hold them up on a pedestal when they do this. I genuinely could not be more thankful and appreciative, because I don't feel like enough people are doing the right thing and looking out for us XRP holders. SEC, asshat, Jay Clayton. All right, let's wrap up there. You know, I can't go a whole video talking about this topic and not say the word asshat at this point. It's just he's an asshat. He's a complete hat for the ass. Asshat. All right, that's it. I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.